What would you buy if you were the richest man on Earth?
I don't know, probably a controller for my Switch so I can play Smash Bros. That'd be pretty sweet.
Nothing like extravagant.
That's good. That is extravagant. You know how much they fucking cost? When you're bestowed the unending mythical powers of an ancient Turbo Panther and have access to the collective resources of an entire fucking country, there's not much you can't do. Or at least it would seem that way if the Marvel character T'Challa, aka the Black Panther, is anything to go by. A character so immensely wealthy he is personally worth more than every country on Earth combined.
So why is T'Challa so wealthy?
Well, as established in the films and the comics, like T'Challa, aka the Black fucking Panther, is the absolute monarch of Wakanda, and as a direct result of that, can freely access any of his country's many resources. Which is quite handy considering that comics have established that Wakanda is one of the most, if not the most, technologically advanced nations on the entire planet, save for perhaps Latveria, because that's where Doctor Doom fucking lives, and no one's beating Doctor Doom in terms of inventing cool shit for his country. Have you heard about this, like, in the comics? Like, this is a little tangent, but in the comics, Latveria, you think, oh, it's ruled by Doctor Doom. He's like, you know, a dictator, rules it with a literal iron fist. Like, oh, surely Latveria is a shithole. But no, in the comics, Latveria is like a utopian paradise. There was no crime, hunger, disease, or any of that shit. Because Doctor Doom, what he does is, one, he gets his Doom bots to fly around policing the country so there's no crime. And two, he gets all the patents to his many inventions, like, put in his name, but has the money go to his country's coffers to pay for things like universal healthcare and education, which means in Latveria, like, they have better healthcare than they do in the United States. Which I find especially hilarious because Latveria, this fictional backwater European country that doesn't even exist, ruled by a megalomaniac dictator who flies around a robot throne fighting the Fantastic Four, has, like, better healthcare for its citizens than, like, the United States does. Doctor Doom is a fucking supervillain, and even he's like, you know what though, universal healthcare, that shit's rad. But I love that the comics have repeatedly established that Doctor Doom goes out of his way to ensure that Latveria is very, very safe, and that there's always lots of money to pay for things by gifting his own patents to government coffers for stuff that he doesn't use anymore, like all his robots and shit.
Well, yeah, they love him for it, don't they? Because I remember us talking about it last time.
Yes.
Doomsday. There's a day where they celebrate everything Doom.
Yeah, this is a fun fact people don't. In the comics, there is a day called Doomsday, which is a celebration of all things Doom, which occurs, and I quote, according to the comics, whenever Doom feels like it, where people just celebrate Doctor Doom, and he goes through the country in like an open-top car waving to people as they like pour adoration on him for basically turning their small country into a paradise where there's no want or need for anything.
If I remember right, there's like a comic clip of him like patting a little girl on the head or something. Being
Yeah.
like, thank you, child. Just give him like flowers or something.
Well, there's one where Doctor Strange goes to like Latveria to speak to Doctor Doom, and I think they have like a joke about the fact like, I'm a real doctor, so I got a medical degree. Where'd you get your doctorate from? And Doctor Doom was off from Latvian University. I gave it to myself. So he's not, but then again, he's like super smart anyway. And then like Doctor Strange thinks to himself as they're driving through the country, it's like, man, these people really seem to love Doctor Doom. And Doctor Doom's like, yeah, this is my honoured friend and guest. Like, Doctor Strange, please show him the same love you would for me. And people like throwing flowers at him. And you find yourself thinking, yeah, they probably do love Doctor Doom. Because I bet in his country, they have like those weird pods they had in Elysium with Matt Damon that just cure cancer and shit. I bet they're just like everywhere. I bet you have one of them in your house. I bet living in like Latveria is like The Sims with all the cheats on. Where you have that regeneration pod that you step in and all your stats just go to full instantaneously. And like all the police just like flying doom bots that like shoot the shit out of anybody.
But no one commits crime because no one's got things. Everyone's got things they need.
Yeah.
Like no one needs anything. Why would you steal when you get everything? Like
Yeah.
you don't need to pay for your healthcare. You don't need to pay for like. I bet if you're like, oh, I want a TV. You just send a note to Doom and he just sends you a TV.
Before we fall too down this hole of praising a fictional dictator, we should say yes, it is described as like an imperial peace in Latveria. So it's like it's peace at the tip of a sword, and anyone who like goes against Doom usually disappears without trace. But the idea that Doctor Doom was like, yeah, I might be a dickhead who rules my country and I, quash all rebellion whatsoever, but at least people aren't going to get sick. At least they don't have to worry about missing a day of work or that shit. At least they don't have to pay to send their kids to school. I'm not that evil.
Not that I need to ask, because I've seen the film, but why is Wakanda so wealthy?
It's because of their vast, almost unending supplies of vibranium, a fictional super metal described as being second only to the shit they coat Wolverine's skeleton in terms of toughness. And to the world at large, in the comics, vibranium is one of the scarcest resources on the planet, which is, it makes it all the more hilarious that they used it to make a frisbee. I fucking love that line in Age of Ultron, where Ultron just looks at Captain America's shield and goes like, the most valuable metal on the planet, like, it has so many uses, like, medical science can be advanced, like, a century with the amount of vibranium I'm holding in my hands, and they use it to make a fucking frisbee. That's true in the comics, though, because they have other things made of vibranium, but Captain America's shield is still one of the most notable examples. Like, you use it so, like, a guy can stop his head being punched off? Really? That's what you use this, like, world-changing super metal for?
I like how in Infinity War, they're like, get this man a shield.
Yeah, and
it's like, get him a Black Panther outfit.
Yeah, no, give everyone a Black Panther outfit. So imagine how much ass Captain America will be whooping in a Black Panther outfit.
I know what people are thinking. Oh, well, maybe they're quite hard to make. Maybe there's not that many of them. There's definitely at least like 4.
Yeah, because
when they're showing off the gear,
there's the one that Killmonger wears, and then there's the other 2 that are just there. Not to mention as well, when they say get this man a shield, I thought we're going to give him another circle shield. You know, the thing he spent a literal lifetime training with, and they give him like that weird square thing that he punches people with.
Yeah, that has like an extended bit on the bottom, which is useless.
It's like, okay, but why would you not give him a round shield that he's used to using, and then maybe one of those like sick awesome vibranium cloaks that puts out, you know, the force field that deflects bullets, because he's got a completely exposed face.
I wish they'd given him just a huge version of his circular shield, like a tower shield, but circular.
You want to have like a Dark Souls-esque ultra great shield. What I wanted when I said get this man a shield, I wanted him to get 2. I wanted him to be like in Final Fantasy 2, when you can like play with whatever weapon you want, and you give one of your guys 2 shields and level them up to max so you can't be hurt and put them on the front line. It's like, fuck yeah, we'll use your double shields. White mage all day.
If you give him 2 of the shields that have the spiky bits on the end, and he just blocks things and stabs people with
just punching people with his shield.
No, I want him to have one the size of the green screen.
just
that.
Just run forward with that thing. The thing is, I was like, get this man a shield. I'd have loved it. It's like, we ain't got one.
We don't need shields. Our technology advanced beyond
our clothing works as a shield. What the fuck do you want us to do? Build him a frisbee? Have you any idea how primitive that technology is? What the fuck? Get him a gun. Get Captain America a fucking gun. Yeah, it's like they end up not being able to find him one, so just get Captain America one of them rhinos. It's like, here, Captain America, here's a CGI rhino, go nuts.
Imagine you'd have enjoyed that fight scene at the end of Infinity War like twice as much if before Thor turns up and just like owns everybody.
Yeah.
Captain America's riding around on a rhino with like a lance
No,
and
it's got to be the CGI rhino. We talked about it before, but fuck it, I want you to edit the clip because it pissed me off when I saw it in the cinema. Why is Thor's theme song when he arrives in Wakanda to whoop some fucking ass not the Led Zeppelin song from fucking Thor Ragnarok?
Yeah, the immigrant song.
They play the original Avengers theme. It's thematically appropriate, but I just want to hear the immigrant song again. That's his theme song now. You are not that orchestral soundtrack. Fuck it. No, immigrant song all day.
Did you hear that bit about, was it Jack Black throwing down? Because he was like, that's the song we use in School of Rock.
Yeah. Did you hear what Jack Black had to do to get that song in the film?
I know it was an effort.
Yeah, because obviously Led Zeppelin don't like their music being used for commercial purposes unless you give them a lot of money, which obviously Marvel can afford to do. But for School of Rock, a crappy Jack Black vehicle about, him...
How dare you? Crappy. That's a great movie.
It is, but at the same time, those kids lose out on 8 months of education. So those kids' futures are fucked. They now have to resit an entire year of school. And, that's not the point of the movie. But I think I would be fairly pissed off if I lost a year of schooling because some dickhead wanted to win a Battle of the Bands contest. Fuck Jack Black in that movie. He's horrible. But they do use the immigrant song in that film. And to get permission from Led Zeppelin, Jack Black recorded a video of himself literally begging Led Zeppelin to use that song, surrounded by all the child actors that were in that film. We need that song in this film. And imagine how he must be so pissed off. He's like, oh, then just like Taika Waititi got it straight away.
No, it's fast forward a few years, and it's Chris Hemsworth begging them with all of the cast behind him.
I think they just asked them.
Yeah.
I think it was like Led Zeppelin, by that point, they'd mellowed a bit on using the music. Like, it's free money, why not?
Or there's a difference between someone saying, can we use it in this scene where I'm in a van with a bunch of kids singing?
Yeah.
Or can I use it in the scene where Thor,
The god of thunder,
literal god of thunder,
he's just going to suplex a giant wolf. And like, you know what, that sounds pretty... That's a new music video right there, go for it. But I was just so annoyed. So I thought they made a mistake in my cinema when Thor turned up, because the Avengers theme song is so muted in the background. I thought, did they mean to not... like? Is the Immigrant Song supposed to be playing during this moment? Because it feels really thematically appropriate, given that was like the last movie I saw. And that was basically every time Thor did something cool in that movie, that's what they played. And they never did. And I was like, oh, I guess they didn't want to do that. I guess Led Zeppelin asked for too much money, maybe.
I will piece that together.
Yeah.
And then it might end up getting like copyright flagged. And then I'll have to re-upload it in a few months' time.
It's fine, don't
with
worry.
like a different song in the background.
If it gets copyright flagged, it's fine, but just try.
Yeah.
Just try.
Oh man, it'd be just what other song could you put in the background of it? Just So, is there a way to calculate exactly how much vibranium is worth?
We don't really know, because the comics are always coy about telling you exactly how much it's worth. Say for one Fantastic Four comic, where I think Mr. Fantastic just casually reveals that on the black market, a single gram of vibranium sells for about $10,000.
A gram?
Yes, a gram. Because comics are stupid and they don't realise how ridiculous that sounds, because a single gram of the stuff can't be used for fucking anything, but apparently it can. And there's another comic where a character casually notes that, like they're in Wakanda or something like that, and they say, like, that bench over there made of vibranium is worth about $20 million. So using those two figures, people have been able to come up with a rough estimate of how much vibranium is worth. And then combine that with the fact that, according to some comics, there's about 10,000 tons of the stuff in Wakanda that they have access to at any one time. You can calculate those two figures and work out roughly how much all that vibranium would be worth if you sold it. And remember, because Black Panther is like the absolute monarch of Wakanda, and as a result, is entitled to use any of the resources the country has at its disposal for his own ends, that money becomes his.
So let's cut the long story short.
Yes.
How much is Wakanda worth?
What, with all the vibranium, just in terms of vibranium that it has, about, according to, I think Forbes worked this out, about $90 trillion, which is more than the GDP of every country on the planet combined. Which means that Wakanda is technically not only the richest country on Earth, like in terms of its resources, it's the richest country on Earth by a margin so ridiculous, it borders on insane. And remember, like, T'Challa, the Black Panther, can access that anytime he wants. And it's said in one comic that one of the ways that Wakanda gets money coming into the country is to sell off vibranium in minute quantities on the black market or to other governments, saying, oh, we found a little bit more in a mine somewhere, do you want it? For like an exorbitant price that would make a cinema blush with the markup they put on it. It's like keep money coming into the country for their own uses. And so like if they decide to sell all of it, not to mention all the other shit Wakanda has, like all its world-changing technology, the patents it owns, the countless mystical artifacts that T'Challa could just sell to collectors and other people like that. He is personally worth more than every country on planet Earth combined. Meaning, technically, the Black Panther could buy the entire world.
And still have money
And
left
still have
over.
some money left over, to furnish it. Because that's a statistic that gets thrown around a lot, isn't it? In regards to, like, super wealthy people. Like, I think one that people enjoy is like, like, the 80th richest country on Earth is like Moldova or something. Do you know what the 81st is? What? Bill Gates. It's like Bill Gates is so wealthy, he's richer than some countries. Like, T'Challa, the Black Panther, is worth more than every country on Earth combined. So obviously you could say, if they flooded the market with vibranium, its value would plummet. But at the same time, like, if you calculate how much all that vibranium is worth with what people will be willing to pay for it, and then put into all the patents and all the shit, it's worth more than every country on the planet combined. And at that point, you have to wonder, why does Black Panther even bother putting on the panther suit to punch people when he's got the resources and money to just throw cash at a problem till it goes away? And then not have to worry about it because he's still got enough money to buy the entire world if he really wanted to. So, a country decides to go to war with Wakanda, just buy it. So, we've got a country going to war with us trying to steal our vibranium, buy them.
It's like corporate takeover on an international level.
On an international scale. Like, at the UN, like, Black Panther should be sat on the same throne he sits in the movie. Like, do you know that throne he sits on and just, like, observes his people? Like, no, that should be in the UN. It should be, like, a mile in the sky. And any time a country complains about it, Black Panther just goes, no vibranium for you then. I guess you don't want cancer-curing super bees that fix broken backs. Good luck fixing that shit on your own. I'm just going to fly around on my CGI rhino now with my vibranium cloak that deflects bullets. Good luck outfitting your police force, dickhead.
You make him sound like a parent.
No, he should do that. Like, the thing is that he could. Like, do you know when you say like Tony Stark? Like, I think he builds like the Iron Legion, obviously to help with like natural disasters and that sort of thing. Like, Black Panther could just buy the world and just fix it. It's like just fucking hell.
So you're looking forward to the next Marvel film?
I am, yes. That'll be Infinity War Part 2, won't it, at this point?
I think it's Endgame, it's
Is
called.
it just called Avengers Endgame? Because I've not really watched much stuff about it. What I do first is whenever a new trailer gets released, I go, okay, what does it spoil? So I was like, oh no, it was spoiled. No, not watching that shit. I want to go in there clean. Because I think it's fair, a comparison I've used in like conversation like you and other people who like talking about this shit is that the Avengers movies, the Marvel movies, they are this generation's Star Wars in that they are just like a cultural phenomenon that like it's just so permeated like outside the sphere of pop culture that everybody knows about it. Like, even people who don't watch these kind of movies know about the Avengers movies. And like I say, we're not going to spoil it because there might be people out there who've not seen the first like Infinity War movie, but the ending to that, the snap. Yeah. I say that's the I am your father moment in Star Wars, where it was just this huge, like just cultural touchstone where everybody was talking about one thing, in particular a movie, for just like a couple of weeks straight. And I like that's like Star Wars back in the day, where the release of these movies was this event that everyone was talking about, even people who didn't really ordinarily give that much of a shit about it. So I want to get into that next Avengers movie clean.
Something I find absolutely astonishing, I didn't see Infinity War until about a month after it came out. And I work online.
Yes.
And I managed to get away without that being spoiled.
I think it's because everyone just like unanimously agreed, like, let's not fuck this up. Because, like I said, this is a moment that will likely not be replicated, at least in cinema, for many, many years at this point. It's like Game of Thrones is another one.
Yeah.
A piece of media that's just so dominates pop culture for the period of time that it's airing, that if you don't experience it as it comes out, you're kind of missing out, really. It's like the old adage, like just talking about it around the water cooler. It's that sort of thing.
Even, especially in the UK, we got it a day later.
Did we?
Yeah. Well, no.
Oh, yeah, we did. Yeah. I thought you were about like the Avengers movies.
No.
Early, don't we, for some reason.
Game of Thrones, it would air in the US, and then a day later it would air here. So
I remember
we have
that
to avoid the internet.
Well, Facebook would always spoil it. People who watch the pirated episodes of Game of Thrones would post death spoilers. Walking Dead's another one of those we've talked about, isn't it? Where for a brief moment it was all anyone was talking about, and then I think we talked about like the death of Glenn at the hands of Negan. It was one that really pissed me off because I was watching Walking Dead at the time, and I remember seeing it was like Walking Dead fan page the day after it aired in America before we could watch it here. They put, oh, watch this emotional goodbye from the cast to this member of the crew, and it shows you it says the actor's name, so maybe if you don't know the actor's name, you wouldn't realise that he's died. Then it shows you a picture. It's oh, he's fucking dead then. He's the one who dies. Fuck me. Thank you, fan page, who supposedly are for fans of this series. Thank you for ruining it on me. And the same thing happened with Game of Thrones, with the death of Hodor. When it's like, oh yeah, actor Kristen Nairn bids an emotional goodbye to the Game of Thrones cast, and then a picture of fucking Hodor on it. Are you fucking kidding me? This hasn't even aired in the UK yet, and I'm already spoiled.
The one that annoys me is like there's going to be some people watching who will be fit into this category. The ones who post, air quote Brad, spoiler free posts on Facebook, which are spoilers.
Yeah.
Because they don't know how to cover it properly. When they say something along the lines of, oh, I don't want to say any spoilers, but that was such an emotional episode last night. I can't believe that happened. I can't believe like that something happened to so and so.
Yeah, and you're like,
well, thank you very much, because we already know like the basis of what might happen. You've just given enough away that I can piece it together to a point where I'm not going to enjoy it as much because I think I know what's going to happen.
The one that gets me is obviously I'm big into video games. Most recent one for me was Devil May Cry 5.
Yeah.
Obviously, I watched the trailers. I watched a lot of like the pre-release stuff because I was interested in how the game played. But because I'd done that, the day the game got released, I go on YouTube. Oh, here's just like footage of the final boss with the thumbnails, the final boss revealing a massive fucking spoiler. It's like great. So now I know what the end of the game is. Fan fucking tastic. Thank you for ruining that twist for me, YouTube algorithm. Fuck off.
Speaking of trailers as well, hats off to Disney from recovering from the original Aladdin fiasco. The next trailer for Aladdin is actually pretty decent.
I don't watch trailers.
You haven't seen it yet, no.
No.
It makes it look good, and you can get past the awkward blue Will Smith because there's more shots and there's also him normal. But
my approach to it is I'll watch the teaser trailer, and if when I go watch a film, generally they'll show the full length trailer before that. So if I'm going to watch a trailer, I don't want to watch it on my laptop. I might as well watch it on like big screen in the level of quality the studio intended. But oh god, I am so hoping I can get into part 2 of like Infinity War clean without being spoiled. So I'm gonna have to go see it like fairly fucking early because I know. Just mention it in this video if people want to fucking tweet spoilers at me. It's gonna piss me the fuck off. It's gonna happen. I can feel it. Damn it.
Well, this video will come out about a week before it.
Yeah.
We're filming these quite far in advance at the moment.
It's going to put people's mind. People are going to be ready.
Yeah.
So I'm not looking at my phone, so I think I want to watch it. The thing as well, it's always shitty fucking like clickbait websites that do it as well. And they put the thumbnail or they put the fucking header image as like the person who dies. Like, fuck you.
And they put spoilers in the title, even though you've already read the fucking title before you see the word spoilers.
Oh, god damn it.
Suck a gigantic Thanos-sized dick.
Yeah, oh god. Fuck you, comicbook.com and all that shit. All those crappy ass websites. Fuck you, Collider and all those YouTubers who talk about it. Damn it. Don't spoil movies. Like, the rule is 6 months. So I like the 6 months rule where after 6 months you can talk about spoilers freely because anyone who gives a shit after 6 months it's kind of your own fault.
As well, like if it's already come out on DVD.
Yeah, that's the rule. Like, 6 months.
Yeah.
6 months it takes most things to enter streaming services or DVD or Blu-ray. The Game of Thrones example is one that cracks me up the most because if you were watching Game of Thrones legally as early as you possibly could in the UK, you could be spoiled the day before it aired by people who didn't do that. And at that point, what are you supposed to do as a fan?
Well, not to mention that time that they leaked, was it 5 episodes of one season?
Yeah.
And obviously, like
everyone downloaded it. And then the thing is though, you know for a fact that because websites couldn't say we downloaded them, they said, oh, here's what people online are saying happens in these episodes. No, you fucking watched them. Just admit it. Admit you watched them, you pricks. Oh man, but yeah, looking forward to that movie. It's going to be great. But at the same time, fucking hell, I'm worried. I'm worried about going in with them spoilers. Like that, on that Neo meme where it's like just like blocking all the Agent Smith things, like dodging all the spoilers online. Like I'm basically muting accounts from people I know are going to talk about that shit.